that's kind of what I've always done with marketing is tell me something amazing, but in a very short way, then explain it to me, and then get me to come back for more.
What in your head and all this repetition makes a good speaking point or makes a good preparation for a podcast?
Definitely the tease. The tease is the best.
Give us an example. What's the tease? What's the tease?
So in the beginning, I would talk about websites, or social media, for example. I'll use social media. It's a better example. So I talk about social media and I would say we create 1 year in a day. We create 365 posts in a day. Like I'd be explaining this whole process. And then I would say, it's really easy. You can do it too. And people would say, oh my gosh, I couldn't even think of that. The host would just be incredibly like, oh my gosh. And they would say, well, how do you do that? Right? How's that even possible? So I would lay out literally the whole day in like 10 minutes. And I would just give like a rundown of everything we would do. And the host was just like, okay, that's okay. That sounds great. Like, first of all, they were thinking it's impossible. I could never do that. I don't know what you're talking about. And then they would say, okay, well, what system do you use to schedule all these posts? And I would tell them exactly where. I would just like, transparency, here's the system I use, blah, blah, blah. And I cut myself out of the process. I totally cut myself out. And I would literally give them every little thing. So then when I was tweaking that process and saying, okay, what can I take out without taking out the message? And what can I give without giving it all away? And so now it goes a little something like, if someone says, oh my gosh, well, how do you do that? 365 posts in a day, how would you even create that? I say, well, one of the best types of posts you can create, which is going to give you a lot of content really fast, so I'm giving you an instant win, right, is to go to your FAQ page. Go to your FAQ page, take all your FAQs and make them posts. How many posts have you created? 10, 20? How many all at once? Like, it's just done. But it's not my whole process, right? I'm not giving you the whole process. I'm giving you a very, really, really good, really good thing that you can do right now. But then, and they say, well, what program do you use? Like, how do you get all these posts all done in one day and scheduled? Well, I actually have a pro toolkit. You can go to getabsolutemarketing.com/free. And you can download the pro toolkit. And it has everything that I use in my business, no holds barred, super transparent, and tons of discounts. So I'm not giving you the name of it so that you can go look it up and cut me out of the process, but then I could get affiliate marketing through it, or I can get the company to notice how many people I'm sending through to them so that we can do projects later. So I'm utilizing my same exact tools, but in a different way.
Are you giving tips on like how to monetize a podcast right now, or how to create good podcast speaking points? That's kind of where I'm like, where my head goes. It's both, right?
You have to have both. You have to do both at the same time. It's kind of like, I used to follow this guy named Mark Vickers, and he did this thing called Speaking is Selling. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is totally me. I could talk all day long and I could sell all day long. So I went to some of his seminars, and this was his point. He's like, if you're speaking, you're selling, right? And it's about giving value, but then taking something and receiving it as well. So not only am I saying, hey, go get your FAQs, make them all posts. Now you've just done 20 posts or 10 posts really, really fast. That's how the day will go, or that's how our process works. And then saying, hey, this is a system that I use. I really like all these programs, but I'm not just going to give them all to you one by one. You'd be writing down them forever. I just compiled them in a list. And if I change one, you get notified. It's changes in the list. So it's constantly up to date. So I'm giving you something else as well, but I'm also receiving your email address and kind of your trust that I'm going to not spam you, but at the same time, I'm giving you something, but I'm also receiving too.
I feel like I have Russell Brunson on my podcast right now, right? Like when I'm listening to Russell Brunson speak, like I'm like, this dude is selling me right now. I know because I've studied everything he's doing, and I know everything he's doing, and he's always selling me, but I'm learning so much. I can't stop listening to this freaking guy.
Right.
Man, that's really smart. Right. So speaking of Russell Brunson, one of the things that you've been saying this whole time, apart, like the tease and how to lay out that kind of like the yellow brick road, right? Like you're like laying out a yellow brick road for people to come to your Oz, or whatever you want to call it. But within it all is that you have a mastery of hook points, right? Like I can tell that you were like a hook point factor. You're like, oh, 365 posts in one day, 200 podcasts in a year. Like,
Yeah.
like you have this, right? How did you, when did you learn the value? Explain to me what I'm saying right now. Cause I'm just saying hook points because I get it,
Yeah.
but like somebody that our friend that's listening
It
right now, you know, like
goes
what
back
is
to
that about?
marketing minimalism. It goes back to minimalism. It goes back, actually, to be honest, and this is something I've never shared on a podcast before. So Pablo exclusive. All
Teaser.
right.
Prepare to be sold.
Nancy Drew Reporter. Nancy Drew Reporter is a 1942 film, and it's a Nancy Drew film about is a kind of based on the books, a teen bop movie of the day. And she was writing an article. She was this reporter. She had to like go and find the story. She had to get the scoop, right? She had to write the headline. And the whole thing was writing the headline, telling the story, and getting them to come back for more. And so that's kind of what I've always done with marketing is tell me something amazing, but in a very short way, then explain it to me, and then get me to come back for more. And so, you know, that's kind of the process I use for everything. And if I'm going to create something for a client, for myself, a product, a blog post, a social post, a podcast setup, even a PowerPoint for a webinar or a live class, I'm going to tell you something amazing. I'm going to explain it to you, and then I'm going to get you to come back for more.
All right. Wow. I did not know that Russell Brunson's hook story offer was something he stole from Nancy Drew. That's pretty
pretty much, yeah.
That's fascinating.
Super.